Hey guys, so we've just reached 1,000 subscribers today. Thank you so much for the support. I've actually quit my job to become a YouTuber full-time. I'm just kidding, I'm still at work. This is the studio. I was editing a video for 7 hours before this. Hey guys, so I filmed this video right after coming back from my internship at about 5 o'clock. So I had to make dinner at the same time and I didn't want to push this video back anymore because my thumbnails are garbage. And I really want to figure out how to make nice ones with you guys. But let me know in the comments if a quarantine cook with me video would be something you're interested in future. Anyway, as you can probably tell from here and in previous videos, I am not the most aesthetic person. I've tried on Instagram and Spotify with Visco, Lightroom, Snapseed, A Color Story, and all the presets that people came up with, or at least the free ones. But one thing I realized after trying virtually all of those things is that there is no one-size-fits-all method to be aesthetic. Either that or I just really suck at it. But if I can do it today, so can you! I'm going to try to break down what it means to be aesthetic into a science so that hopefully you can learn something from this and put your own spin to it. I'm going to start with what I think can be improved with my current thumbnails. It's very inconsistent in terms of font, color scheme. They're basically screenshots of my videos and I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm not the most photogenic blogger. I'm just going to work on the first 4 thumbnails because I filmed those videos here, so it'll be easy to recreate those pictures. And also, I don't want to destroy everything in case this turns out to be a massive failure. 3 YouTubers that I really want to emulate in terms of thumbnails, possibly their lives as well, are bestdressed, Jazzy Lee, and Dustin Vong. They have this sort of warm, doodly vibe that I love. It feels like a hug, which I obviously have not been getting much because of quarantine. Also, the thermostat in this place, it's like someone saw that I was the last person in this building and they were like, yep, she doesn't need it. Anyway, we're gonna look at what these YouTubers have in common in terms of their thumbnails. First of all, their face or torso is very prominent on the thumbnail, which makes the video instantly identifiable as theirs. Second of all, there is a very simple base color in the background to have a clean overall look. Some examples of this could be pink, white, brown, blue, and a special one that I want to point out is orange and teal, which are complementary colors, and a lot of films actually incorporate that color scheme. At the same time, there's not a lot of negative space. The background can be broken up by physical things like a photo wall or digital effects like doodles. And the fourth thing I noticed is the text is either handwritten or typed. And finally, it seems like these YouTubers put a filter over all of their thumbnails. It's kind of hard to see what filters they use based on just their photos, but we'll figure it out when we get there. Now that we know what to look for, we are heading back upstairs to start shooting photos. And I'm also gonna finish my dinner. That is now cold because I was working on this. Okay, let's get this started.
You got me spinning like a ballerina, feeling gangsta every time I see you. You're the king, baby, I'm the queen of disaster, disaster.
Hey guys, so that actually happened 2 days ago. I've just been working on my internship and as you can see, my room is a mess because I'm supposed to be moving out in 2 days, but my subletter isn't replying me, so I might actually be homeless in the next couple of days. Also, I just never found a day where I felt confident enough to do this because like, what? I'm just posing for pictures? That's crazy. Hey guys, so I am sitting on the toilet right now because my room is next to the living room and my roommates are vibing there right now. So we are just gonna keep vibing by ourselves in this bathroom. Cue the cringiest time-lapse I've ever done trying to look good on camera and being really bad at it. What I basically did was try a bunch of different poses on video and then screenshot the ones I like later. I've also compiled a bunch of thumbnails from the YouTubers I mentioned before that I like as a sort of benchmark for my own thumbnails. You can see one of my old potential thumbnail pictures just chilling in the bottom left corner looking a little out of place, but we're gonna fix that. So I've finalized the pictures for 4 of my videos and we are gonna use Visco to edit them. I don't really have a process for filtering, but what I usually do with my Instagram photos is use the A6 filter for a bright, glowy look, and then I adjust the intensity and exposure to make sure the image isn't washed out. And then the rest comes down to personal preference, like adjusting your skin tone to look less red and turning on the warmth overall if your room lights are more yellow. I'm gonna do the same thing with my other pictures. Something that was really hard for me to accept is that you can't just apply the same exact settings to every picture because the lighting and composition are always going to be different, so you have to trust your instinct. In the end, you can also compare the images you filtered side by side and tweak them a little bit to look more similar to each other. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've slotted my own thumbnails into the stack and they look a lot more uniform now. But this particular picture is especially orange and I want to try something more interesting for the background. So what I'm gonna do is pull up this picture on the preview app, which comes with the Mac. I use the instant alpha tool on preview to get rid of the background. It looks a lot easier on time-lapse, but it's not perfect, especially if your picture is a colorful, low quality screenshot. So it takes a while to nip away all of the background, but it doesn't have to be perfect because you can just doodle over the messy parts later. Also, I want to raise a really good opportunity if you are under 18, I think. So I actually won this iPad, yes, I brought it into the bathroom with me, as part of the 2017 Molecular Frontiers Inquiry Prize, where all you have to do is submit a science question and it gets evaluated by Nobel Prize laureates, and if you win, you get an iPad. I don't mean this as a flex, it's just that competitions have really helped me to fund my YouTubing, so I think it's a really good avenue and I just want to encourage you to go for as many competitions as you can because you never know what you're going to get. Now that I've got my foreground, I'm going to scroll through my videos to find some decent shots and then I'm going to play around with those screenshots to make a background that sort of works. So this absolute monstrosity actually looks pretty decent. And on to the fun part, I recently discovered Adobe Fresco because I signed up for an Adobe free trial for work, and the first thing I'm going to do is select the 1920x1080 dimension because that makes sure that your thumbnail is the right size, especially if you kind of just eyeball the original screenshot, which I am going to add as an image layer. And now the fun actually begins. I chose the pastel square brush because it's the closest in style to what's on the comparison thumbnails, and the brush size is 52 because it looks like it works. So now I'm just gonna doodle some very unscientific looking bacteria. Oh, how far we have fallen since our superbug days. On a new layer and then trace it with a lighter color on a different layer. Right now I'm just improvising. The important thing is to use a new layer every time you try something new so that you don't affect the other layers in case you want to erase anything. Now I'm gonna write the text, and how I make it look nice is really just slowly writing the word over and over until I like it, and then adding a layer of white underneath for contrast. So this is what the final thumbnail looks like. I'm pretty happy with it after making some tweaks. For example, I made the words a little lower so that it's more balanced overall, and I changed them all to lowercase because it's quirky. For this next picture, we're starting out with warmer tones, so I'm gonna use brown for the text color and then fill in the back of the words with a layer of white. It still looks kind of empty, so we're also gonna throw in a pop of green. One thing I wish I could have done differently was write study hacks a little neater, but I think this is the best I'm gonna get for now. I'm honestly not a fan of this the more I look at it because there's a lot going on and I don't exactly know what color to use for the text, so I'm just gonna trace over myself to separate the background and the foreground, and since the primary colors here are red and blue, it seems like purple is the only reasonable option for the text. So I ended up tweaking the color to red because what happened was I forgot that my day in the life of quarantine was already purple, so it kind of clashed. Where is it? Yeah. I don't know if red is the best color because, I mean, the background is blue and I don't know if blue and red are in any way complementary. So here are my 4 almost completed thumbnails. I have finished the text for 3 and I'm just going to edit this last one, and this is my original train wreck of a thumbnail. I am editing this on the floor because I have not really set up my new workspace. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So originally I wanted to write "Take Me to the Sea" as an homage to a lyric I misheard from one of my favorite Yvette Young songs. But as you can see, it's not working out, so I'm just gonna try different phrases. As a guideline, it's good to keep your thumbnail text to about 4 words because with all the work put into it, it's really easy to forget that the output is actually gonna be very small. And then again, I'm going to experiment with different doodles and shades for the words until it looks good in its actual thumbnail-sized version. I am pretty happy with this one. I think it turned out really well, and also orange and teal. Psych! We're not done. We still have to make a thumbnail for this video, which I think is going to be the hardest actually, because there's not a lot of space on the thumbnail to show it before and after, and the text on both my old and new thumbnails might make the whole thing look messy. So right now I'm just trying out different arrangements on PowerPoint and trying to visualize where my new text is going to go and what it's going to look like. At this point, I'm pretty sure you know the drill, so I just want to say thank you for watching this far, because as far as I know, making thumbnails is kind of niche, and I really appreciate you watching me go down this potentially fruitless spiral. Now we're back on the floor, time-lapsing this with a phone balanced on a chair with a can of chipotle peppers that is actually not mine, which represents approximately 2% of the chaos I've been feeling the past couple weeks. As expected, this image is not really vibing with any text I try to put on it. I'm trying with different colors, different designs, and it just looks like it hates it here. So I'm just gonna go with a simple before and after label, and honestly I might tweak it a little more after finishing this video, so it might not look like the thumbnail you clicked on today. So this is what my thumbnails looked like before, and here they are after.
I love it. I mean, I'm so passionate about it.
But anyway, YouTube has finally updated on desktop, so these are my final thumbnails, and I'm actually pretty happy with them. One thing that I am concerned about is how the color balance is a little bit off. So this one has a bit more yellowish tones, this one's a bit reddish, this is a bit bluish, and this is back to yellowish. But I think for a first attempt, this looks pretty decent, and I'm quite proud of how they look like, especially compared to my first thumbnails made on Canva 3 years ago. I do have to say that I may actually make an update to this in a few months because my Adobe free trial lasts until September, so I might switch over to Procreate and PixArt because those are apps that other YouTubers use. So stay tuned for that and subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about thumbnails or anything in general, and I will see you guys in the next video. I promise. We're back in the game. Bye!